Good morning. Welcome to Mobility Matters, the bi-weekly live stream show covering transportation topics of interest presented by the CITT, Citizens Independent Transportation Trust. That's the organization that oversees the use of the half-penny sales surtax in Miami-Dade County. Thank you for joining us as we stream directly from these beautiful studios here at the Community News Network on their social media platforms. That's the Miami News Community Newspapers. I'm Cheryl Mizell. I'm the CITT Ambassador Program Coordinator, and today for Javier Betancourt. He's our director at the CITT, our executive director, and I'll be keeping you informed as usual about the volunteers at the CITT Ambassador Program who ride transit similar to Secret Shoppers, and they use a mobile app to give feedback about their experiences in exchange for rewards, all to help us improve transit services here in Miami-Dade County. By the way, if you're a frequent transit rider, then stay close because you definitely want to hear what we have to share about how you can start earning rewards such as transit passes and credits on Uber and Lyft, city bike sharing, car sharing credits, get around. But right now, what I'd like to do is to briefly introduce you to our featured guest for today's Mobility Matters. Now, she'll have an opportunity in just a few minutes to share more details about herself, but what I'd like to tell you about her is she's a native New Yorker, but a resident of Miami since 2009, a researcher by profession, a wife and mother, and now she's the 2023 CITT Ambassador of the Year, which is awarded to the volunteer with the most points or velos. You'll learn about those later if you keep listening during the year. Congratulations and welcome to Mobility Matters, Kathy Bernstein.
Thank you, Cheryl. I am very happy to be here today and so excited that I'm the CITT Ambassador of the Year. So thank you for that opportunity and for the opportunity to be here today in the studio with you.
We're so happy that you were able to make it. It feels like we've been working on this for such a long time to get you here, but today is the day. But before we get deep into our conversation, and I let you know exactly what you're receiving as our Ambassador of the Year, I just want to reach out to our viewers to ask them to visit our webpage to learn more about the CITT, about how they can apply to become a CITT Trust member or a CITT Ambassador, and that's miamidade.gov. You'll see that crawler at the bottom of the screen during the show, or you'll see a QR code that you can also take a shot of. And as I mentioned earlier, if you or someone you know is a frequent transit rider who likes to give feedback, talk to people about the problems and ideas about improvements and receive rewards for that, then again, take a picture of that QR code when it comes across the screen, and it will take you directly to our homepage. Then you can apply to become an ambassador or a trust member. Now, Kathy, as we like to call you, Bernstein, before we go any further, I just want to tell you, as the top performer of the year, you will receive 10,000 bonus points, velos.
No, thank you.
You are quite welcome.
Wow.
And you'll receive a trophy.
No.
Oh, yes. And your guest appearance right here is also one of those little bonuses that you get. So there's more, but we'll save that for later. I just wanted to give you some of the initial highlights.
Exciting stuff. Oh.
Exciting stuff. So as we were talking, offline, as we said, you came to came to us through Velocia as one of the original app users. You joined the beta program. You were our first ambassador of the month. You were our first ambassador of the quarter. And now you're the ambassador of the year. You have just been trailblazing all the way, my friend.
I take a lot of transit, and my phone is always in my hand, and it's automatic at this point to just pull up the Velocia app. I pull it up, track everything, every mode of transit that I use, I log it in.
You do a great job. You do a great job. And with the comments, everything, we get little stories about things that have happened. Yeah. So certainly appreciate that. But tell us a little bit about you, Kathy, Kathy, the person that gets on that train or bus on a regular.
I'm from New York City originally, in the Bronx, New York, born and raised. So I grew up on the transit system.
There you go.
We lived near a subway, and my mom would often take us out, my sister and I, and we'd take the train. And there was an express bus to go to the city, Manhattan, and we would take that as well. So there were buses, trains. We didn't have a car until later, and that's why we grew up with transit. That was our way. I did not even get a car for college because I went away to college to Boston and used the T. And then when I transferred back to NYU, I used the train again and buses and walking. So I do have a license, but my driving is very limited, to say the least, especially here in Miami.
Yes, yes.
So we do have a car, but I don't use it.
I hear you.
And I'll say that. So about 14 years ago, we decided to make a change, my husband and I, and we moved here to Miami and loved it. And we moved to the CBD, the Central Business District, and we have a condo there. And one of the main things when I was looking, even with the realtors, I need to be by transit. I have to get to work easily. And I work at the University of Miami Medical Center. So the first thing I saw was Civic Center, stop on the train. So literally, I walk out of my house, the mover's there, jump on the mover across the street, and then take the rail.
Oh, wow. That's so convenient.
Really, 14 years, the bumps in the road have been very small. I have to say that about the transit. It has not been anything catastrophic, just the little difficulties that we have to get over.
That means a lot coming from a New Yorker.
Yeah, well, I had to change my expectations for this transit system. It's not 24-hour. There's not that many options. But that is increasing. Like, since I've been living here, the trolley became a big deal. And the mover became very heavily used as more of necessity instead of novelty. So the mover, people really use that every single day to get to work and to go to whatever they need to go. And that's why I see all the improvements going on around us, but the improvements aren't keeping up with the population.
Yes.
And that's what I'm seeing.
Sure. Now, you have a son. I'm sure you does he ride of course, I mean, whenever he's with you, but is he growing up in the culture of transit?
That's a good question, because he now goes to school at the Mast Academy on Key Biscayne. So, Key Biscayne's a little community. So he's only in 6th grade, but he's enjoying that independence of running around the Key. So he has taken that bus alone. Now he takes a 26 bus, used to be the B bus. I know we have the better bus changes that came up. But there is that bus there that he feels comfortable taking. So that gives him some independence. And they also take Freebie, which I've used to here, and they have it also on Key Biscayne, and that's expanding. That used to be just a little electric car, and now they have the actual cars that you can get, and the app is working much better, so that's definitely helpful. So I've been taking my son on transit since he was born, and he's very comfortable, but that's not the norm. I mean, some of his friends even told him, I don't take the bus. And he even tells me, isn't that foolish? Because then you're not going to be able to get anywhere. Because often parking's crazy. And there's no spots, valet only. So it's like he's seeing for himself the difference, the benefits of transit. Sure. And the frustrations, but we can get into that.
Sure. So when do you use a vehicle?
When we have to go somewhere like the zoo, for example. My husband, we go on a family trip. If we go on family trips, we drive even to Orlando, we will take our car. Or if we're traveling somewhere that transit's not easy to get to. And that's another thing. I see improvements coming for south, way down south, to go to Homestead, to go to that area, to extend the rail. But so far, those options aren't there. And now with Better Bus, it's even difficult to get to the zoo for an average person who just takes transit. So for those trips, you have to get in a car.
Sure. So tell me, what inspired you to apply to the ambassador program? You're on Velocia. I understand, like you're saying, you lived in New York and you came here, and you're limited in terms of the experience that you've had as a driver. So you kind of fell into just looking for those public transportation.
Out of necessity.
Out of necessity.
And the need for mobility. I want to feel independent. I don't want to have to call somebody to drive or say, could you drive me? I want to go myself.
Sure.
And I subscribe to Nootropic, and it's an online forum where they talk about local news. And when Velocia first came out, they said, who wants to try this? And they offered perks for using transit. Said, hey, I'm going to try it. And I signed on right away, and I saw instantly those Velos come into my account. Like, wow, I can actually use this to redeem for Uber, for Lyft. That's what I mainly use it for.
I see. And then what about when you made the transition to our beta program?
Yes, well, that was even better, because then we can do a little survey every time we ride any mode of transit. And I started out doing it, and then I think when you told me that people actually read those comments, I was very, very, very detailed in my comments, because often there's something going on. And I'll say exactly what it is. And since I rely on transit to get to work, I always give myself a buffer, but I've never been late. But there's always these little hiccups that to me seems like it could have been avoided. So I'll note all those things and say exactly what happened.
Yeah, well, you certainly put folks to shame who blame public transportation for making them late, because even today getting to the studio, you were here 45 minutes ahead of time. So.
I took transit on purpose. I said, I'm going to take transit today. I'm not calling Uber or Lyft. I'm going to take the rail and then follow the Google map. It was only 11 minutes.
Wow. So you got from 11-minute walk from when you got off of the train. Oh, wow.
It was right here. It was very simple. And I think a lot of people I talk to who are car associated are afraid to try transit. They have a bad image of it. They say, oh, I wouldn't take the train, rail, no.
Yeah.
Bus? Me? Take a public bus?
Yeah.
But I grew up on them. So it was not scary to me. It's fine.
Sure.
Actually, when I'm doing the ratings and it says rate the quality, I have this little standard that I use. I look at the floor, I look at the seats, and most of them have been excellent lately. It looks like it's been freshly cleaned. And that's not how it was, say, 10 years ago. So I see an improvement there. A lot of the buses are electric, and I think it's looking good. So
I find the same, because I also rate. I use the app as well, and and then when I'm going home, I do see, a little bit more, but that's at the end of the day. But it's not. I never see anything.
Oh yeah, people have been using it all day.
Yeah. So it looks a little used, but it never. I've never been on there and seen anything that just looked really, that you needed to run and tell somebody to come and fix it. No.
No. And I did see something once on the station at Bayfront Park Mover Station. I saw some cockroaches that were on the bench, and I reported it to 311. Literally that same night, gone. So people at 311 did listen and respond to my comments. So that was good to hear.
So going back, so you saw the beta invitation to join, and you came over to our beta program. What was it like during that time of being on that side?
It was good. And I think, as we've talked about, it opens up conversations that I could have with people at the station, because I'm a supervisor. I talk all day. Sometimes I just want to be alone, read my book. But sometimes when you're frustrated, you want to talk to someone. And I can give you an example from this very morning, when the inner loop for those who take the Metro Mover, has been down 3 days, I think now. So that's a reliable way for us to get from downtown to Government Center to take the rail. So myself and a gentleman were on the mover, and we had to take the full loop. That means you're going a roundabout way. So he and I got off Freedom Tower to circle back around to Government Center. So I saw his face and I said, "Isn't this very frustrating?" Yes, absolutely. This is very frustrating. I need to get to the train. I said, "Oh, me too." And then I said, "I'm a transit ambassador." And he laughed and he's like, "Oh boy, there's a..." He goes, "Please help." So it turns out he's working for the marathon. He's doing setup for this weekend's Miami Marathon. So he needed to go to Government Center to do something over there by the train. So we were talking and he says, "Please bring that up. Please talk about how people are not communicating. The inner loop wasn't running, but there was no sign saying where to go, what to do." And that's what's missing here, that little piece of the puzzle.
Communication.
The security officers, if you ask them, "Hey, how do I get to the train?" "Oh, when's the inner loop coming back?" "I don't know." And they really don't know.
Right.
So there's just that lack of communicating to say, when are we going to get relief? What's going on with the inner loop? He even asked me, "What's going on?" And I said, "Well, when I rode it on Sunday, it was stop and go. So I knew something was up." And then the outer loop was also down and they had to fix it, and there were shuttles and you can't find the shuttle. So it's those little glitches without the communication that make us frustrated.
So just more information available, more readily available, like in real time almost.
Yeah, like that's what I would expect. In New York City, I'm sure there'd be people there saying, "You have to go here, go there." Last night, I was taking the mover home from Publix in Brickell. I saw a group headed to the Heat game. The inner loop was down. They got on the train with me, and I know this is even hard to follow, but the Brickell loop was down. So it was just Omni only. So I told them, "Come on, I'm going there." And they followed me. And sure enough, they're like, "Oops, Brickell loop running again." And we headed to Brickell. And I told them, "Oh my gosh, I'm a transit ambassador and I told you to get on the wrong train." So we all got off together at Riverwalk. We walked all the way down the stairs to cross over. And I was laughing the whole time thinking, I showed them the message about today's podcast. I said, "I'm going to be on tomorrow." And they laughed. And they made a comment that I remembered to tell you today. They said, "You really have to be in the know to follow any of this because we live here. I know where I'm going, but what about if I didn't?" And I said, "That's a good point." I said, "I'm going to bring that up because how would they know? There was no information. The message on the top of the board said Brickell loop down. That's what I followed. Meanwhile, it was not down. It had just started. So I guess it just comes back to communication. These poor people, they were laughing too, thank goodness, because they said, "Well, we gave ourselves time, so we're not going to miss the game."
Right.
But we were circling all over downtown.
Yeah, so that is an important piece always, to have real-time communication as much as possible. Perhaps more digital boards that people can go to that can be, can give information more instantly.
Well, one thing I can say positively is there is a lot of security presence. So people aren't completely lost. They could always say, "Hey, help me," and there's someone there. So that's really improved lately and really good to see.
Well, if you just started watching, this is Mobility Matters, presented by the CITT, Citizens Independent Transportation Trust, streaming directly from the Community News Network on the Miami Community Newspaper's social media platforms. You can follow the CITT on social media at GoCITT. Also, you can search using Transportation Trust or hashtag CITT Ambassador. And please remember to visit our pages and like them when you get there. I'm Cheryl Mizell. Again, if you just tuned in, the CITT Ambassador Coordinator, and my guest is Kathy Bernstein. She's our 2023 CITT Ambassador of the Year. So what do you like most about serving as a CITT Ambassador, Kathy?
I guess it's that interaction, because they say Miami's not a friendly city. So how are you going to open up conversation? Sometimes it's a language barrier. I speak English. My Spanish is not that great.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to open that door. But when I see people looking around or confused or there's a problem or they need directions, that allows me to start that conversation.
Sure.
I'm not just a stranger talking to a stranger. I'm an ambassador giving information.
Sure.
So,
and just to note, for anyone who's interested in becoming an ambassador who may be a lot shyer than you, that is not a requirement. That to talk to other people, the focus is largely to gather the feedback, through observation and your experiences. So it's not required that you do that, but it's very nice that you do that to
that
be
was
helpful.
Just the part that I liked about it.
Yeah.
But I do it all the time, even when I'm reading a book or something.
Yes.
I'm doing the Velocia. No matter what I do, I've got that app open, tracking the transit, saying exactly what's going on. Even the Brightline, which I've started taking.
Oh, you rode the Brightline?
Many,
you like
many,
it?
many times. Yes, my son and I were users from the very start. And I guess that's an example of transit gone right. They did what they promised. They go to Orlando. We've taken that trip, landed in the airport. Great service and hassle-free. The only trick, I guess, is getting there to the Brightline on the train.
Yes. And you mentioned something about a wish list.
Oh, what I wish?
Yeah. What's on that wish list?
Well, I guess that could open up a little discussion about the better bus network.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little better in some ways, but I saw people's frustration. I was passing through Government Center when I saw protests going on about some people were angry because they closed their bus lines. So they made some improvements and inconvenienced others. So one thing I would like to see is better bus or better service to the beach. And I know we talked about Baylink, that overhead mover that can get from downtown to the beach.
Yes.
It is still difficult. My son and I took it actually last week because I wanted to go to test it before this meeting with you. I said, I haven't tried the new Better Bus. And we got on the 100. And that is kind of like the 120. And the 20 is kind of like the S. It was very confusing. And I'm not sure why they numbered or changed the numbers the way they did. Because honestly, someone who didn't study the manual may have gotten completely confused. But they did give us that buffer months to try it out. We tried it. They do run more frequently on some lines. Some, it just didn't work. And the Omni, the bus center downtown that used to have everybody waiting, now doesn't have the buses it used to. And I'm sure there's a reason to avoid traffic, but there were people wandering around lost. And when I asked the bus driver, he said that. He goes, I really can't help you. And I guess that's what we have to smooth over. That's what I wish, is that it could be easier bus transport, especially to the beach or to hard to reach areas, and a way to track. The tracking's actually better, so that's part of the wish list that's working. The Go app, when people were at the bus stop and I showed them the app, I said, I could rely on this. And that's working. Well, I just thought of another thing, the trolley. Now there's a wish list. So we got the bus or the Baylink to the beach, the trolley. The trolley is its own little entity now.
Yes.
It has its own app.
And which one are you talking about? Which particular? Oh, you're just using them all, any of them?
Well, in particular, the Wynwood.
Okay.
Not the Wynwood line, Midtown.
Okay.
You're going shopping at Midtown, which we do often, go to Target, go somewhere over there. You want to get home. Really, there's not much down there. There are some bus lines, but they're not right there. The trolley's right there. You track it. 9 times out of 10, I have to say, it doesn't work. It doesn't go. And I've been with people. I've surveyed them. I've talked with them. A lot of frustration. Where's the trolley? Angrily calling Uber at the last minute with their packages. People coming home with all this stuff. And, oh, it was supposed to come. It didn't come. Once my son and I walked with another group up to the bus on Biscayne. Then we're watching on the app. The trolley zooms around the corner, passes us by, and the people started screaming, like, what the? And that is another wish list thing. Like, please, the trolley, that's our common experience. So to get from Midtown to downtown easily would be helpful.
I hear you. In fact, Mariana Price, who works with our municipal programs, and is doing a great job in working with the different municipalities. So we're definitely share that with her. Let's talk just a little bit, a couple minutes to talk about the app and like maybe some of the rewards that you've redeemed, that part of the process.
Well, I've redeemed a lot of rewards for Lyft and Uber. Mm-hmm. And for example, my son likes to go to places in Doral. So I'll use that to go to Doral because that is tricky to get to by transit or it takes too long. Mm-hmm. So I'll go from there. Also, once you land in Orlando on the Brightline, how do you get anywhere from the airport? Go to that Uber and Lyft app. So I use my credits and we can use that. So I save my credits for those rideshare programs.
And how do you find using the app itself?
Oh, super easy. Mm-hmm. Any glitches we have, I can email someone. Mm-hmm. And you've seen that.
Yes.
Something will happen, it'll freeze or it won't work. And I'll put in, there's a button for feedback. And I'll say it right away. Hey, this isn't working. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the developer, hang on. But yeah, for the most part, I've used it for a while. And it's been great. Even during COVID, it changes a little bit and it works.
That or the Velocia side of it, the original app, because we came in a little after we officially launched in February of last year, and maybe about 6 months before that was the beta, when we launched the beta. So that was like the tail, just the very end of COVID.
It's a great idea because anybody can give feedback and people interpret things differently.
Sure.
My interpretation through my eyes is different than an average someone who's been living here a long time or has different expectations for transit. What is their idea? I mean, it would be great to get everyone's feedback and see maybe they'll have suggestions for improvement.
Sure. Well, I'm with all the feedback that we're getting, we'll have lots of people to draw from, mm-hmm. and there's lots of comments, like I said.
Well, I know one thing that I haven't actually tried. I did it halfway, Metro Connect, because I know that's supposed to go where they took away the bus line or there's no bus at the time. So I tried it once early morning, and it did say they were on the way, but it would take a half an hour. Mm-hmm. So I just walked instead.
Gotcha.
But that seems to be, it's an option, but it's not an option that people really would consider regularly.
I understand.
That's the feedback I heard.
Mm-hmm. They don't.
I want the bus. I don't want to call a Metro Connect and wait for them. I want the bus to come like it did before.
Gotcha. Well, you mentioned some surprising facts. Were those that you learned while riding? Did you share those yet?
Let's see. I know. Well, some of the surprises were, like, I guess it's not a surprise. It's different than New York. New Yorkers are demanding. When I'm on that train and it's not moving, the voices I hear are out-of-towners. Mm-hmm. What I noticed is that people are resigned that it's going to be bad. Mm-hmm. Their expectation is already here. It's already low. Mm-hmm. People are just, let me get on the phone because who knows when this will go. I'm the one going, hey, when's the train going to go? I have to go to work here. What's happening? And the security, it'll be going. But the people have generally got that feeling. This is it. Mm-hmm. This is our expectation. It's crap. Transit's bad. We just have to deal with it. And that, I guess, was a surprise. I would want, if more people demanded more, I think it would improve because more voices would be heard. But people are just resigned. This is what we got. Mm-hmm. Even the man this morning was, well, we're in Miami. Well, and we want that to change. This is transit. We're in Miami.
Yeah, you're right.
It got better. And another point, what's one surprising thing for the weekend? You're on the rail. Why is it still on a short schedule? You know that the weekends here are very busy. In New York, I did all my running around on the weekends, so you need the train. The train didn't stop or get a worse schedule because it's Saturday and Sunday. Those days are gone. We need to get places, and there's no way that you could wait half an hour. So that's very frustrating, and people, again, are resigned. Well, I'm just not going to go to the party. I'll take my car. But that's because the rails, like single tracking every Saturday and Sunday. How can we improve that to get regular rail service on the weekend when people need to do things?
Sure.
So.
Well, Kathy, you have given me a wealth of information to take back.
I've ventured. Thank you, Cheryl.
I know it felt cathartic to get all that off. Yes, so
we're
thank
good
you.
Now.
Yes, you've done your duty. Thank you so much.
But it's good. I see improvements. I'm happy. I'm smiling. I'm happy to take transit.
Well, that's great, and we're happy that you are an ambassador. And again, congratulations! And
Thank you.
I'm so happy to celebrate you. Here on Mobility Matters, and we, like I said, we have a few other things lined up, but we will let you know. But just want to get those initial things and just say thank you for doing such a great job and for being so engaged.
It's my pleasure.
And thank you for getting up and coming in here on public transportation today.
Yes.
And to our audience, thank you for joining us today. If you missed part of the show, you can watch from the beginning and just when you check back for links and you can see the full video. Special thanks again to our guest, Kathy Bernstein, our 2023 CITT Ambassador of the Year. And remember to visit the CITT website to learn more information. Again, I'm Cheryl Mizell, your host, CITT Ambassador Coordinator. Big ups to Rachel, our producer today. We'll give you a shout out. Our first day working with us. She's done a great job. And to our audience, please join us again in a couple weeks when Javier Betancourt returns as your host of Mobility Matters. Until then, just keep moving forward.